You opened the email expecting good news, and instead you saw the word refused. Now you're panicking, confused, and not sure if you should reapply, appeal, or just give up. I'm Evelyn Ackah, a Canadian immigration lawyer with over 25 years of experience helping people turn visa refusals into approvals. In this video, I'll show you exactly what steps you take after you receive a refusal, how to read the officer's notes, fix the real issues, and avoid making things worse the second time around. So you can take control of your case, rebuild your application the right way, and finally get one step closer to coming to Canada. Let's dive straight into the heart of what you need to do if your Canada visa has been refused and you did it on your own. I know how stressful and frustrating a refusal can be if you've invested time, money, and hope. But I'm here to guide you step by step so you know exactly what to do. Read your refusal letter very carefully. The very first thing you should do after a refusal is to pause and read your refusal letter from Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada very, very carefully. Most people glance at the refusal and immediately start panicking or jump online looking for appeals or options. Don't do that yet. Your refusal letter is the key. It will usually tell you the general reasons your application was refused. It might mention things like insufficient proof of funds, questionable intent to return to your home country, incomplete documents, or unclear travel history. Sometimes the letter is vague, but before you do anything, you must know exactly what the officer's concerns were. I once had a client, let's call her Maria, who was refused her study permit that she did on her own because the officer was not convinced she would leave Canada at the end of her studies. Maria was shocked. She thought she provided all the right documents and information. But after reading the refusal letter closely, we could see the officer had doubts because of her family ties and because she didn't provide enough evidence of her strong reasons to return home. So before you react or reapply immediately, read your letter carefully. Highlight or write down the officer's concerns. This is your starting point. The second thing to do is order your GCMS notes. Do an access to information request immediately. Next, if your refusal letter doesn't fully explain the reasons, or you just want to be absolutely sure it's a smart move to even go forward and do it again, order your GCMS notes. These are the detailed internal notes the visa officer made when reviewing your application. These notes are often much more detailed than the standard refusal letter, and they can sometimes tell you if the officer was concerned about your finances, your ties to your home country, your travel history, or even if they missed seeing a document that you uploaded in your application. Let me tell you about Kareem. Kareem's visitor visa was refused. He did it on his own, and the refusal letter just said insufficient proof of temporary intent. We helped him order his GCMS notes and found out the officer actually doubted the legitimacy of a job letter he submitted from his employer back home. This was nowhere in the standard letter he received of refusal. Now, how do you order these notes? If you're inside Canada, you can do this through an online access to information request, ATIP, on your own. It costs just $5 Canadian. If you're outside Canada, you will need a representative in Canada, like myself, or a friend to make the request on your behalf. Don't skip this step. These notes are your roadmap. You don't want to reapply blindly and get the same outcome. 2 refusals are worse than 1, believe me. 3, decide whether to reapply, appeal, or do nothing for now. Once you have your refusal letter and the GCMS notes, you're ready to make your next big decision. Should you reapply? Should you appeal? Or in some cases, should you just wait and do nothing and let some time pass? Let's break these down simply. Reapplying is often the best choice for most visa refusals, especially if the reasons are fixable. If you didn't provide enough financial proof, you can gather stronger evidence and try again. If your travel history was weak, you might want to build it up over a few months or a year or two before you reapply to show them that you've traveled to other places. Remember, if you're allowed to address what the officer didn't like and submit a stronger application, often this works if you approach it strategically. Appealing is possible in some cases, but it's not always practical. For temporary visas like visitor visas or study permits, there is no formal appeal process. You can apply for a judicial review in federal court, but that's complex, expensive, and usually only works if there was a clear legal error, not just because you disagree with the decision. For permanent residency applications, some refusals can be appealed to the Immigration Appeal Division. but there are strict rules and deadlines that you must be aware of. 3. Waiting or doing nothing for now can sometimes be the right choice if your situation is unlikely to change in a fast period of time. Maybe you need to save up more money. Maybe you need to strengthen your ties to your home country, gain more work experience, or finish your studies in your home country first. Sometimes time is your best friend. Let me give you a real-life story. I worked with a family whose visitor visas were refused because the officer didn't believe they'd return home. Instead of rushing to reapply, they waited 6 months, improved their financial situation, got more travel stamps in their passports, and then we reapplied with a rock-solid application on their behalf. This time, they were approved. So don't rush. Take your time. Honestly assess which option is best for you. 4. Fix the weaknesses in your original application. If you do decide to reapply, here's what you need to do to be honest and strategic. Look at the reasons for refusal. Were you missing documents? Was your financial support weak? Was your letter of explanation unclear or too short? What was the reason you were coming to Canada? Did you fail to show enough ties to your home country? Did you misunderstand some of the requirements? You need to fix these weaknesses clearly and in your new application. Don't just resubmit the same documents and hope for a different result because a different officer may look at it. That almost never works. Here are some practical everyday examples. If your proof of funds was doubted, provide more bank statements to show more money. Show where the money is coming from. Include pay stubs, tax returns, and letters of explanation. If your parents or family members are funding you, show evidence of their income and their relationship to you. If the officer questioned your ties to your home country, provide evidence you have a job to return to. Property in your name, a car in your name, family responsibilities, children you've left behind, a husband you left behind, or a spouse, or reasons you need to return after your visit or studies. If your travel history was weak, look to take some short trips to other countries if you can. Even neighboring countries can help prove you're a genuine traveler who returns home once the visa has been completed. If your documents are unclear, write a strong letter of explanation. Spell out your reasons for going to Canada, your plans, how you plan to support yourself, and why you will leave when your visa expires. This is not the time to be modest or to assume the visa officer will figure it out. You need to connect all the dots for them clearly and simply. Don't leave anything to chance. Think about Farida. She was refused a study permit she did on her own because her letter of explanation was just a few sentences long, not sufficient. On her second try, when she retained us, we helped her write a detailed letter, linking her choice of program to her past education, her career goals back home, and why studying in Canada made sense. It made all the difference. Consider getting professional help with your application. Here's something I want you to hear. It's okay to ask for help. Canadian visa officers can be tough, and immigration rules are changing frequently. Don't be embarrassed if you find the paperwork or requirements overwhelming or confusing. It's not just you. The system is tough, even for professionals. If you've been refused once, especially more than once, if you've done this on your own, it's often worth the time and money to work with an immigration lawyer to get it done right. Someone who's seen thousands of cases like yours. A professional can review your refusal, explain your options to you, and help you prepare a stronger application. I've seen so many cases where a small mistake, a missing document, or a weak explanation led to a refusal. But with a bit of expert help, we turn things around. Sometimes it's just about knowing what evidence will matter most to that visa officer and how to present your story and your situation in a way that rings true and authentic. And remember, if your situation is complicated or you're thinking of appealing to the federal court, you really should get legal advice first. The stakes are too high to do this on your own. Don't lose hope. Learn from your mistakes and try again. I want to leave you with some encouragement. A visa refusal feels like the end of your dreams, but it's really just one step in your journey. So many people I've worked with have faced refusals, picked themselves up again, and succeeded the next time or the next time. In fact, many successful Canadian immigrants were refused on their first try, and they did not give up. Imagine this, you're building a house, and the inspector tells you the foundation isn't solid enough. You don't give up on building the house. You go back, you fix the foundation, and you make it even stronger. The same goes for your Canadian visa application. Be patient with yourself. Immigration is a process, not a single event. Use the refusal as a learning opportunity. Improve your application, get support if you need it from a lawyer, and come back stronger. What you've learned and what's next. So, let's review quickly. If your Canada visa has been refused, read your refusal letter carefully. Order your GCMS notes to dig deeper. Decide on your best next step, whether it's reapplying, appealing, or waiting some time to fix every weakness in your application. And don't be afraid to ask for professional help. I'm here for you. Most importantly, don't let a refusal end your dreams. Many successful immigrants started exactly where you are today. If you found this video helpful, your next step is to watch Best Provinces in Canada for PR in 2025. The easiest pathways ranked. It breaks down which provinces are making it easiest to get permanent residency next year, and some of the pathways might surprise you. If you're serious about building a future in Canada, you can't afford to miss it. See you over there.